Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining me for today's Friday World session. We are the 26th of April, 2024. I'm going to focus in today on releasing trauma out of the nervous system, moving into doing a repair to dharmic living, so section 7 of the hypothalamus, and making sure that it's working well in good communication with the gut brain. So that's the small intestine. So we've got a little bit of repair work to do. But I'm going to start with tapping the cortices. I'm going to tap the cortices, and this improves brain function by up to 65%. It's grounding. It feels really good. It helps reduce brain fog, increases mental clarity, and I can feel my whole body just relaxing. It's kind of like doing a little reset, like a reboot for the body mind. It feels really nice. So if you want to learn how to tap your cortices, go ahead, reach out, or hop onto my YouTube channel. I do have a video there for showing you how to tap your own cortices. So we've got three things happening at the same time. So this is called parallel session and body talk, but I can't speak them all at the same time, but we're going to go ahead and dump out of that nervous system any kind of trauma. So whether this be stored trauma from childhood, from younger years, from your adolescence, even through adulthood, so young adult into adult years. So we're talking about experiencing trauma yourself. So arguments can be traumatic. They get, that jarring, that yelling, that heightened aggression is really off-putting for the nervous system. We're also going to do witnessing arguments, accidents, experiencing the extreme war, but also seeing animals fight is coming in here, or any kind of disharmony that really jars the nervous system. It doesn't even have to be anything massive. It's how your body responds to it. So it could be traumatic even for a 2-year-old, that they're doing something, that they're playing, that they're really in at, all focused on their blocks. And then mom and dad say, oh, it's time to go, without even talking to the child or getting down onto their level. They just scoop up that 2-year-old and pull you or pull that baby away from what they're doing. And the baby starts to cry. That's traumatic for the 2-year-old. We're just kind of being lifted away. So we're going to dump that out of the nervous system, out of the myelin sheath, out of the parasympathetic nervous system, out of the sympathetic nervous system, even through that spinal fluid. It's kind of the water feels like it's got a very strong electrical charge to it. So we want to make that nice and calm, harmonize it. Doesn't needs to be flowing and moving, but I'm talking about being agitated, that agitation. We need to release that agitation out of that whole spinal complex. So out of the bones, out of the we're going to, coming in here is a foramen repair. So if you've got any back issues, spurs, bulges, we're going to do a nice foramen repair at the same time. We're going to go into the bones themselves. We're going to hydrate the bones and releasing shock out of those bones. It feels like, I've never seen this before, but traumatic experiences or perceived trauma, doesn't matter if the person thinks it's traumatic, or, someone says, oh, that's not so bad. We're not looking at that. We're looking at how it impacts you. Oh, there's a nice release there. And it feels like the bones get tight, they get really contracted, and they get really brittle. It's like being on guard. We want to dump that out of the bones. We want the bones nice, and we want them soft, but we want them firm. So it's not mushy bones, but nicely structured, hydrated, alive bones. And we're dumping that trauma out of those bones. Also, any kind of trauma that you may be holding on from your ancestors. So, eighth chakra influence is coming in through here. So, ancestors down the lineage, both maternal and paternal. You're going to dump that. If there's any that seeped in through the DNA, we're going to dump that out. Oh, I'm feeling my whole lower body. I feel my legs again. I can feel my hip again. We're draining all of that trauma, all of that shock, all of that stress out of the bones, from the nerve, from the skeletal system, out of the cartilage. Oh, there it goes, out of the nervous system itself, down through the nerve endings at myelin sheath. And then also it's coming up right up high into that occiput. So the occiput links into the eyes. This is responsible for sight. So we want to remove, drain out of the optic nerve and out of the occipital brain, witnessing trauma. Bearing witness to a traumatic event. Now, a traumatic event is anything that really shocks your system. I'm not going to go into specifics. Your body mind will sort that out for yourself. I'm going to tap this in here. I'm going to run this whole part of the session as a Seedry. There it goes. Oh, I'm going to link this also into the bottom, the soles of the feet. The soles of the feet. So dumping, we want these, these electrons, this ionic discharge, not to stay in the body. We want it to flow all out, kind of like anchoring an electrical current, right? We want that when the electricity is grounded, then it doesn't, it can't shock someone, right? We want a grounded electricity. So the same thing with this ionic discharge down through the spinal canal, through the whole spinal system, the nervous system, out to the base of the soles of the feet, and link. So we're going to really do a nice recharge, kind of like a remembering for the soles of the feet of the proprioceptors, that when they touch the earth, there's that, that feels so good, like that magnetic pull to the earth and picking up earth's minerals and vitamins and frequency. And that feels so good as a support and nurturing to your nervous system, to your body. Oh, that feels so nice. Oh, my arms just relaxed. I just feel, like I could just go, like my whole body's can just relax now. My arms feel so nicely relaxed. Before, I felt a lot of tension in my arms, like I was on guard. My shoulders relaxed, my breath relaxed. I could feel my pelvic basin opening up. So you can feel for yourself what's happening for you. This is what I'm experiencing. Now we're going to go into the part of the brain that is responsible for dharmic living. It's very different than karma. Living dharmically. Not doing things that help yourself, to help you, not hurting yourself. Do things that make your life better. Do things that help you, that support you. And then we're going to dump out of here the neediness to help. It's really coming in strong. Well, it's not about me, it's about others. I really need to help others, putting others before me. So there's a little bit of, I know for myself, I went through Catholic school, and it was really ingrained from when I was little. Put others before you, put others before you, put others before you. Well, that could be quite damaging, right? It's like, oh, there's such release. There's really big moving here. So, my God, how am I going to do? There's so many burps coming in here. So I'm going to tap cortices to section 7. We're going to do a dumping of neediness. So that need to help, the neediness to help others is actually about you and not the other. So it can mean animals as well. It can mean Oh, social movements is coming in here. That's interesting that that's coming in. So those, I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with social movements, but if you're doing it from a place to prove something about yourself, then that's not about the action, that's not about being actually being helpful to yourself or others. It's about your need to prove something or disprove something about yourself. Now, if this confuses you a little bit, we can work on this privately. I'm not going to go into this too much, but we're going to dump this out of the hypothalamus. That's section 7. Putting yourself first, not in a narcissistic way, not in a self-absorbed way, but really taking care of yourself practically. Dumping that need out of the hypothalamus and any identities that may be guiding your actions or ruling your actions. So I am good, I am bad. I am special, I am nothing. I am helpful. Ooh, that's a big one. I am helpful. I am selfish. So whatever, I'm going to also plug that into your prefrontal cortex. You can think for yourself. You can see for yourself what comes up in there for you. I'm going to use I am good, I am bad. Dumping those identities out of the section 7 of the hypothalamus. And also we're going to anchor this through, we're going to anchor it to the heart and dump it as a pathological consciousness of misperceptions of self. That was really big. I'm going to bring in some nice circulation in here of hydration. We've got to get those toxins out of the hypothalamus. We're going to link the hypothalamus with the rest of the brain, so to the whole brain, and then also specifically to the hippocampus. We need to get that hippocampus nice and healthy. And then doing a repair on the link from the hypothalamus, section 7 of the hypothalamus to the hippocampus. We're going to do a correction on the link so that they're talking, that the connection is nice and clear. That did something very big for me. I feel really calm and I feel clear, like that brain fog that I've been experiencing for some time, like confusion, losing my memory. I just cleared up. My vision got better and my brain feels unburdened. It just feels like there's space in my brain now. So that feels really good. We're going into right now into the small intestines. We want to make sure that the small intestines, so the gut brain and the head brain, are talking. So we're going to link head brain to gut brain and gut brain to head brain. So that discernment, those gut reactions are coming up clearly. They're coming up clear and they're not going to be usurped by mind, not being usurped by any kind of identities that you hold about specifically, since we're working with the hypothalamus, of helping yourself, really helping yourself. So sometimes helping yourself means saying no, knowing your limitations, and honoring them, honoring your limitations in the sense that, okay, let's say you already have a full plate. That's a limitation. I don't have 20 hours to spend giving time to, let's say, a charity event. I can only do 1 hour's work instead of 20 hours work, but I'm glad to give my time. But knowing your limitations, that's really respectful to you in the sense that it helps you not to overburden yourself and force yourself. And this in comes the heart. And we're self-love. We're going into the heart and we're highlighting the heart's natural consciousness of love, self-love. And it's loving to sometimes say no. It's loving to say no when no is needed, when it comes up. It's loving to say yes when yes comes up spontaneously. It's getting these three brains, the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain, working cohesively as one unit. And dumping guilt. We're going to dump guilt out of the system. There's a piece coming in and I'm not quite, I was going to tap this in, but I'm not quite there yet. There's something that I feel that that needs to come up here. So I'm going to go quiet for a moment and see where the session is leading me. Oh, it just needs a minute to download. Okay, so we're going to give it a minute to download. There's the breath. All right, now I can go ahead and tap this in. Thank you all for joining me. My little disclaimer, I'm not a doctor. You have an emergency, get yourself to a hospital. For my full disclaimer, you can see that on my YouTube channel or on my webpage. If you'd like to work privately, if you have any questions, please go ahead and visit my website at www.mmarzak.com. So Marzak is spelled M-A-R-C-Z-U-K. If you'd like to work privately, I'd be so happy to assist you. If you have any questions, comments, I'd love to hear your feedback. Please, it helps me so much when you share this out or subscribe to my channel. Let's get this dose of energetic TLC out to the world and to all those that need it. Thank you so much, and I will see you next time.